Well, hello, model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Rel, and this week I'm going to feature my finishing up or getting close to finishing up my Baldwin Motion Phase 3 Corvette GT here that I've been building. And in my last video, I was buttoning up a few things, and I was mentioning that I wanted to fit these wheels and tires and modify the stance a little bit by lowering the front end. Well, I did do that. I was trying to film it and work with the camera angles and work under the camera and cut and paste and do what I needed to do, but doing that while under this camera with my hands and everything, and kept wanting to do it in front of me and having some issues. It wasn't quite working out, and trying to do it under the camera was becoming a little more challenging, and really it wasn't working out, and so it was just really making it difficult. So instead I kind of gave up on that and then worked on it, and here's a solution and how I did it and what I did. So first, a couple of things here. Getting these wheels and tires, which I know these are Revell tires. They're in multiple kits, and I know I first seen them in the GT350R in the early 90s with all the Goodyear lettering and everything. So, they're some of my favorite tires here, and every time I can, I find a set and I grab them. The wheels, I'm pretty sure these are right out of the Baldwin Motion. So the 70 Camaro, I believe that's where they're from, but I'm not 100% sure. But they fit this really nicely, and they got big and littles as well, so they fit really nicely. And then the Revell wheel backs. So, but when it came to this particular car, some of the issues I had, to show you what it looks like, here's the rear tire in place and rear axle. Now everything is solidly glued, and everything is where it's going to be. So, the chassis moved around quite a bit, so I really couldn't do this until this particular stage, because I wanted to sit just right. And don't recommend doing it at this point, doing it ahead of time before you get to this point. But on this one, I wasn't sure where it was going to be. My mock-ups were kind of okay, but once it was all solidly glued, I knew that I was going to be doing this, because like the rears, so there's how the rears landed, and I like the way that they're spaced and gapped and everything, and just have the right look. But they're also in just a bit too much, and really, sucked in right there. So I wanted to do something about that, fender sticking out pretty far. So I wanted to do something about that. So that kind of explains what's going on here. And then the front, this is a stock one that's unmodified from one of my other kits. So I pulled this out and used it for reference, because I had to remove the one I had painted and glued in here. And I was trying to do it as well. And it was working out a little bit, but it was just being a bit of a challenge. So anyway, so there it is mocked up, so you can see where it sits. And if I put one of the front tires in here, you can see how far it is in its stance. Now these tires are a bit smaller, they don't fill up quite a bit, so I did want to lower them up there and change the rake of the front. I wanted the front end down a little bit more of a mean look to it. So that's how it looked on that. And then, as far as how far in the wheel is with the flares and everything, you get an idea, how far out it is. So, or for how far in it is. So I wanted to do something about that as well. And this isn't even snapped. It's got like another 1/8 of an inch to go. If I snap it, it'll go in even more. So I didn't want these particular wheel backs, but these are the ones that came with the Revell kit. Now, here's the two side by side. So I went to my parts box and I was looking for, this is what comes in a Revell kit. And I was looking for something I was going to cut and space this out. Well, I found these in my parts box, and they're Revell as well. Don't know which kit, where they came from. Could be any number of kits. So just right in my parts stash, and they fit these wheels beautifully. They just pop right in. There's no issues. Same mock-up, same diameter. So there's an idea of the difference there as far as the depth, how much farther out they are. And then here's the fronts. Same thing. So they're really spacing it out. So let me just pop this out and change them out. So without really having to do any fabrication work, I got a different set here, and they're working out great. Now to push them out. Use my toothpick there to push them out. So there it goes. For whatever reason, that one didn't want to go in. But now, for those same shots with the different spacing, you can see that hasn't changed. But from the bottom side, or even from the back, you see they're right out there where I want them. So if I put them both on there, you can see that they're right there giving me the look that I want. And if I want to move them in a little bit, I can always sand that off and get them just a little bit flatter. I'm really happy with the way those are looking. So when it comes to the front, putting the stock one back on, still without modifying anything. Now it pushed them right where I want them to be with the vehicle. So it just gives it the right look without having just hanging way over like a big umbrella. So now when it comes to modifying the part, here's how it ended up being. You can kind of see what I did there. So I basically just cut this stud off this way and sanded it, and I wanted to move it up quite a bit. So you can see right here, if I put this right here, how far away it is from that upper control arm. So there's the gap right there, and I wanted to move it up. Now the wheel was hitting the control arm, so I had to notch it a little bit, just clearance it so that it cleared the wheel back. And it's really only this actual tube that it's hitting now. Before it would clear, no big deal, but now it's hitting. So after cutting that off, putting on the new one, you can see in there, and basically double stacking it. Then I just took a piece of sheet styrene, glued it to the back like that, just a trimmed piece. And then, and using the extra strength Tamiya quick setting, this stuff melts it. This literally welds it, the plastic. So works really good in that respect, but it ain't gonna come apart. I was trying to use super glue for a little bit on it, and that was just letting go and becoming a bit of an issue, which was some of the challenges I was having. Was it really didn't want to stick for some reason. And just the amount of weight and everything on the tires, it was just giving me issues. So I ended up doing it this way on this one. So by doing that, it moved it all up, reinforced it a little bit, but I just thickened it up a little bit, but not too much. So when I put this in place, turn it around, steering link would just go on the back. Now you can see how high it moved up. So there we are. And it goes right up to the arms on both sides. So that's working out pretty good there. So now, when I take this wheel and put it on there, you can see it goes right up to the lip where I want it without too much of a gap. It'll lower the front down a little bit, give it a little bit of the muscle car rake that I want and everything. And so there you can see, still tucking it up pretty nicely to the fender lip and everything, but some nice overhang there, but not too much. So liking how that looks. So when it comes to that now that I've got that far, so now all I got left to do is I just need to airbrush this black, detail paint the steering linkages again, and put that on, put this back in my parts box and my parts kits, put those back. And then same thing, take all these wheel backs, paint them and get them ready, and get this thing final assembled. And that's the last I need to do. And the next time you're going to see this thing is going to be done. So the rest of the car is pretty much done, as you can see there. So, but that was the final stage, and I had to do everything mocking it up there. So I have kind of mocked it up with the wheels and everything in place, but I'm not going to do that for you guys. I'm going to save that for the the final reveal video when I really go over this car and how it came out and everything. But she's looking great. I'm super excited about it. But I just got to clean up a few things and attach a few more things. But she's looking great. So you guys stick around, stay tuned. This one's going to be done here real soon. Just got to finish painting these few things and some other little touch-ups here and there. But this one's looking great, and I'm super excited about how it came out. So you guys, thank you for tuning in, subscribing, and all your comments and everything. And again, don't forget to check the link below for all our subscribers and everything. And you guys, you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time.